This video is all about what to do if you win millions from the lottery.
Are you listening?
This video is all about what to do if you win millions from the lottery. If you're new to this channel, my name is Timothy Schultz. I actually am a lottery winner. In 1999, I won the Powerball before going back to college to study journalism and broadcast news and work on various productions. I'm now combining my experience to launch this YouTube channel and this podcast whereby I'm interviewing other people that I find fascinating, including some other lottery winners. If you want to watch any of these interviews, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified when they come out. But this video is all about what to do if you win millions from the lottery. If you win 1 million from the lottery or you win hundreds of millions from the lottery, I think this video could be very helpful. I wish that I had someone telling me this when I won the lottery. So without further ado, let's get to it now. Here is my insider advice of what to do if you win millions from the lottery. Now, the first thing that I think you should do if you win a major prize, millions of dollars from the lottery, is to keep the ticket secure. And I know a lot of times right now, tickets are virtual, they are digital, but oftentimes tickets are physical pieces of paper. Now that is a huge liability if I've ever seen one. You do not want to be carrying around a little piece of paper worth millions of dollars. I remember when that happened to me, I was very, very nervous with that ticket. I mean, oh my gosh, what are you going to do? So the first thing you should do is keep it somewhere secure, such as a safety deposit box. Put it someplace secure and safe so that nothing, God forbid, can happen to the ticket. The next thing that I think you should do is try to keep calm, which is very difficult to do because when you win the lottery, it's okay to celebrate, of course, but it almost feels like an out-of-body experience. It can be very, very surreal. And so you don't want to go out telling everybody in the world that you have just won the lottery before you have even turned in the ticket. They say that winning the lottery is like being struck by lightning. And I think this is very, very true because it can be shocking. I went from being a gas station clerk, assistant manager, making a little over minimum wage, to suddenly having my world turned on its head in an instant. And it can be shocking. In that sense, it is absolutely like being struck by lightning, and it does indeed happen to people. After you secure the ticket, I think one of the first things you should do is to contact estate attorneys and financial advisors. It's very, very important to do this before you turn in the ticket. Come up with a game plan. Know what the steps that you need to take, because if you are like most lottery winners, you are not going to know how or what to do with millions when that is not the background nor the education that you come from. But if you do come from that background, more power to you. You may know what you're already going to do. But if you don't, then I highly advise getting people that already know what they're doing. They have a track record, they have experience working with millions of dollars, successfully growing and investing that kind of money. And I do advise looking around and vetting these people because I can tell you that it's not going to be very difficult to find people interested in helping you. But what you need to do is find people that are experienced, that have a track record, and that you can trust, where there is transparency. And I will go into more depth about this in another video, and I will put that video below. But it's very important to get your ducks in a row and have an understanding of what you're going to do with the money prior to turning in the ticket. And if you hit the big one, are you going to claim the prize publicly or anonymously? That's another thing that needs to be decided. In some states in the United States and some places in the world, you do not have that option. But if you do have that option, then you should understand what the laws are and how to do that, because that varies depending upon where you live. Winning the lottery is one of the craziest, potentially most life-changing things that can possibly happen to somebody. It can really turn everything on its head in an instant. I cover the craziest new lottery winner stories from all around the world on this channel. If you are new to it, I will put a link to a couple of them right here. But it happens. It does happen to people. So what are you going to do if you win? You definitely need to understand the rules. There are typically deadlines where you have to turn in the ticket by a certain amount of time to do that. If you turn in the ticket a few days after the deadline, it doesn't matter if you won 1 million or if you won the jackpot, if you won $1 billion. It doesn't really matter if you didn't turn in the ticket before the deadline. So it's absolutely vital to look at the ticket. Did you know there are actually billions of dollars worth of lottery prizes that go unclaimed each and every year? And one of the reasons is that people don't always check their tickets. So it's very important to do that. And if you win a major prize in the United States, you are probably going to have the option of choosing cash versus annuity, meaning the whole prize over a period of something like 29 years, or half of it right away. But then it, of course, in the United States, it is taxed, so you don't wind up with exactly half. But a lot of lottery winners do choose that option. One of the reasons is that typically you can make more money on investing the cash option than you would over the annuity over a period of years. But once you have done that, once you have claimed the ticket, once you have the money, then what do? From my experience, if you are the type of person where you want to help other people, I think it can be better to do that early on, because that can help avoid people constantly coming to ask you for money. Because one thing about winning the lottery is that if you are surrounded by people who are not so wealthy, then some of those people might look at you as a bank. At least they did for me way back in the day. And a lot of people won't ask for money, but it does happen to some lottery winners. It certainly happened to me. I had stacks of letters from people asking for money. But I think it's better to understand what you can afford to give, what you want to give, and then take that amount and be clear with people that you want to help, and do that early on to help avoid people continuing to ask in the future. Another piece of advice that I can give is that I think it's important to stay grounded and to understand that if you win the lottery, it doesn't necessarily change you, but it can make you a larger version of yourself. It can sort of magnify your personality. And if you're really into sports cars, for example, you might go out and buy a whole garage full of sports cars. If you're really into the church, you might really heavily donate to the church. Whatever you're into, your interests, you likely will be able to do that on a larger level. But I think it's very important to pursue what makes you happy. Because if you win a few million and you retire suddenly, what are you going to do with yourself? You can certainly sit on a beach and relax and drink Mai Tais, but after a few days, after a few weeks, after a few months, is that really what you're going to want to do? At least for me, I needed a purpose. I needed to get up in the morning and look forward to what I was going to do with the day and with my life. I needed a purpose, a drive. What makes you happy? Find out what that is and pursue it. There's this stigma about, is the lottery a blessing or a curse? There's this whole stigma out there about it being a curse. But I believe that who you were before you win the lottery and who you are after the lottery are the same thing. You just potentially, for most people anyway, I think you can become a larger version of that person. And of course, if you win the lottery jackpot, if you win millions of dollars, you need to celebrate, because that is awesome. And after you celebrate, come talk to me, because I am going to want to interview you on this podcast. Let me know in the comments, what would you do if you won the lottery? What will you do if you win the lottery? And am I missing anything? Let me know in the comments. I also made a video about why you can win the lottery. I will put a link to that video below. Remember, if you play the lottery, never spend more than you can afford. Have fun with it. But remember, you do have a chance if you play. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support.